let's talk about belief. Do you tell yourself things like, I'm not worthy, or I can't do this, or this is hard? Any of the things, right? It's so easy to tell ourselves that. And other people tell us that. That's going to be really hard. I don't know if you can do that. The economy's not good, or the job market's not good, or, you know, people have a hard time doing that health wise, or, people love to say that something's going to be difficult or hard or not doable. People, for whatever reason, society has come to the point where we think safe is the best. But most of the time, probably over 90% of the time, safe is not truly living. And it's definitely not living an extraordinary life. And it's not fulfilling the joy and the purpose that you came for. Because safe is mediocre at best. And that's not what we came for. We came here to live full out, to love our life. We didn't come here to suffer. And there's nobody, God, the universe, that intended for that, although you'll see people say that, but that isn't true. We suffer because we do it to ourselves by what we're telling ourselves, by what we're taking in from others and allowing to be true that isn't true. Belief is learning how to believe in yourself. Why? Because you can only receive as big as you believe. When we say that, we think, well, God, the universe, they're in charge and they'll decide. No, you have to decide too. Because what happens is God, the universe, offers you all these things. And because you're telling yourself, I can't, it's too hard, that's not for me, you don't even see some of them. You have no idea that you've said no to so much because you never saw it in the first place because you were not in the space to see it. An email comes and or something on TV or someone knocking at there's so many opportunities that we don't even realize came our way because what we were already telling ourselves. And even for instance, simple things like if somebody told you in school that you weren't good at math, that you couldn't do it, especially if it was some sort of authority figure, adult, teacher, now you've decided you can't do math. Well, maybe you had in your mind that you wanted to be, an engineer or any career that requires math, of which there are many, right? Then you say, well, I can't be what I wanted to be. And then you settle for something else and you're not happy. And all the time, there's another way that, like, our brains work all kinds of different ways. Schools only teach, they teach to the masses. But there's lots of other ways that brains work that can be taught that can learn math. But you've already told yourself that you can't. And so you've given up on your dream and life is mediocre. Life doesn't feel great. And it affects your physical health. It affects your joy level. And you can choose something different at any point in time that you are ready to change the story you're telling yourself. And you can't go straight from 20 years or 10 years or whatever it is of saying, I can't do math. I'm terrible at math. Everybody says I'm terrible. I flunked it this many times. I had to take remedial, whatever it is. You can't do it as long as you're telling yourself that story. But we don't have to live in that space where we were before. We can choose something different. And you can change it. We'll only mention this briefly here because it's just to help you understand how you get to believing, but you can start to reframe it and say some things to yourself like, what would my life be like if I could do what I really wanted to do? What would happen if there is a way for me to learn to get good at math? And then as you're telling yourself these things and you're starting to imagine, wonder what that would be like. Then all of a sudden things will happen like you'll get a junk mail thing and it's about teaching adults math in a different way or adult education math where they teach it in all kinds of different ways. Or you'll see an advertisement on TV you've seen a million times before and never noticed that actually says it's adult education for math and learning it in different ways. And Then, if you're in the space where you're allowing yourself to open up to that, you'll sign up for the class. The perfect teacher will be in that class that can show you exactly what you need to move to the next step. And your dream starts to expand again. And you decide to go to college. Now you're figuring out how to pay for it. Well, if you put it out there, this is what I want. I really believe in myself. I believe this is what I want to do. And I know I can do it. And I'm going to choose to decide, which is part of believing. It's that next definite step. I am going to do this. And when you do that, then God, the universe sends you, and you're looking, because now your brain, you've allowed your brain, your prefrontal cortex to get in gear and start focusing and finding the things you're choosing to believe in and making it happen. And that is the power of changing your thoughts so you can let in more belief